start. Yeah. So we are now talking about the human design. Till now, what we have covered in human design is more to say that there are 9 centers. And from whatever I am reading, the, should I say, prediction or the outlook is based on the fact that there is a lot of mutation even among the centers of the body, such that we are mutating from a 7-centered structure to a 9-centered structure. Right? So when we take these centers and proceed further from the centers, right? And then you start drawing. This looks like astrology, but this is not astrology. This is more a quantum definition of a human being, how he is designed. So here we have covered, what all have we covered? Let me just go to the, right? So we have looked at what is that human design chart looking like, what are the types of energies, and then it is taking us through, right, what is consistent and how this universe was created. And from there, we are coming to understand how this entire human body is getting created from that Big Bang, then the formation of the crystals, and from the crystals, how we have come together, how we have undergone the various changes that we are going through, and what are those centers, what is the chart looking like, right? So what is the blueprint? We have gone through that. So when you create a chart, you get 2 parts to it. One is the design side of it, which is nothing but your date of entry into this earth minus 90 days. That means that is more like the 3rd trimester of the pregnancy. And
minus 20 days.
minus 90 days, not 20 days.
Okay.
90 days. 88, so he has covered it to say that it is 90 days better to consider it to be 90 days. Okay, Mishra, how are you managing to show me 2 faces, one looking in one angle and the other one looking in straight at the screen?
आप कई दिनों से कह रहे थे ना तुम दिख नहीं रहे हो,
हाँ,
तो मैंने कहा 2 जगह दिखाई देता हूँ अभी.
अभी ज्यादा दिखाई दे. So,
हाँ.
so it is now talking about that. He is talking about the different centers. Each center is connected through channels, and there are 32 channels. No, actually 36 channels, because 4 of them are utilized more than once. So 36 channels connecting all these centers as it is creating us. Now, if I map this to our Joe Dispenza's cycle, where it says atom, atom to molecule, molecule to chemical, chemical to, and so on into a human being, right? And if I try to apply this frame of the channels, interconnecting all those in making the realization of the human body, right? So then channels have a
ब्रश भी नहीं किया मैंने, एक सेकंड आता हूँ. तूने ब्रश कर लिया?
right. So that has a significant role to play. Now, each channel is like a pipe. These pipes have got 2 sides, so he calls them gates. Now, interestingly, there are 64 gates that define us. All these together, I'm giving it in a summary so that all of us are coming to the same page, right? Now, there is a particular combination that then creates, right? These 64 are influenced by what we call neutrinos. Now, what are neutrinos? Are the various planets and star beings, their breath, right? Which is the result of the explosion that took place. And we can imagine that to be one single crystal of high potency energy, the size of a ball, where the pressure increased to such an extent that when it broke, lot of crystals came. And those crystals forms the entire universe. And we are also those crystals. But we have seven different centers, which is now mutating to 9 different centers, defining us in terms of who we are. Now, why is this important when we have been doing thinking and destiny? After noetic destiny, of which about 50% is still left, the next chapter is astrology. But the astrology of tomorrow is human design. This is the quantum integration of quantum science. This is the integration of I Ching from the Chinese, this one. And then how the genes mutate is dictated by these channels. And these gates, collectively, it helps us understand ourselves at a macrocosmic level as well as microcosmic level. We are able to define ourselves and get to know ourselves better than what we are or what we currently know. So we can. So what he has done is he has broken down our chart into design, the purpose with which you are born, personality, what we are making out of. Okay. So we have, and it is integrating I Ching. I Ching is the 64 gates and the combinations, which is from the Chinese medicine. Then the Kabbalah, the Hindu chakra system, but 9 chakras, not 7. And then he has also taken some inputs from astrology in terms of the influence of various planets, and when they obstruct the neutrino, what portion of neutrino is coming to be received by us. Okay. So, having said that, we have already seen how those centers. So, in terms of the human design, there are 5 types of energy that identifies us. And these energy types, okay, there are certain definitions for it. Those who have missed, these are covered in the lectures that we have already done. Then there are profiles which influence us, right? There are totally 6 into 2. That means each one repeats twice. So 6 into 2, 12 profiles that defines us. And then all the centers, how they work and all that. Then there are, in terms of the channels, they are of 3 types. Okay. One is open. That means defined. Even the centers could be open. Or I mean, when they are open, they are undefined. That means there is potential to capture more. And if it is occupied, even partially, it is then coming to become defined. That means there is a structure within it in terms of how it is going to influence us, right? Anything that is white, not colored on your body graph is called open or undefined, and anything that is colored is known as defined. Okay. Then the chart has got all the planets. Interestingly, there is also the planet of Chiron, right? Which is a recent discovery during the 80s. That also plays a role. And that totally defines us from a quantum human being perspective, our design. Okay. So when we started with the energy types, we completed the energy types, then each energy type has got a strategy. That means that is what you are going to be governed by. Okay. Then each of them has what you call an authority. Authority influences what you need, and in some cases, the timing to use your strategy efficiently to help you make decisions. So this gives you that definition also. Okay. So there are 5 kind of authorities. If you see, all of these are associated with one of the centers. Okay. And these centers are going to convert your thoughts to actions. So this becomes important from that perspective. Now we are coming to the next part, which happens to be the emotional themes that are predominant in each of us. Now, these themes could be having both sides. That means overactive and underactive. And our objective is to decode what needs to be done, what lessons we have to learn in order to maintain a balance. Are you all on the same page?
Yes.
Yeah, right. So if we are all on the same page, we start with reading in terms of what is this emotional theme. Each human design type, there are 5 of them, right, has an emotional theme. On some chart versions, it is identified as a life theme. That means that theme is going to influence us throughout the life, which is part of our person's life and of a person's life, and brings them lessons as well as opportunities for growth. Now, here, if we take what we read in soul contract decoding, right? There are 2 triangles that define us. One is a spiritual triangle, one is a physical triangle, or based on materialism. All of them have got lessons, talents, and goals, right? Now, those you can read to define your emotional themes, right? When you experience your emotional theme in a strong way, it's usually a sign that you are not living true to yourself. Why? Because your objective is not to get caught up in an emotion. is to realize the emotions, 3 laws of Newton's, right? Equal and opposite. So you need to be aware of that. Increase your awareness, right? It's always good to take a step back and evaluate your life if you are feeling your emotional theme in a powerful way. When you feel your emotional theme in a powerful way, is it not natural that you are under the control of that emotion? Yes or no? Just think, right? When you live your life according to your human design strategy, the way you are built, you lessen the intensity of your experience with your emotional theme. What is that? Right? Now, if one of the energy type, the 5 energy types are manifestor, generator, manifesting generator, projector, reflector. These are the basis of which of your energy centers are charged, which of them are defined, which of them are not defined, based on and how the channels are connected to them. Based on them, he has defined the type of energy, right? So a manifestor is governed by the emotional theme, which either highlights anger or is in peace. Generator, frustration or satisfaction. I am either, most of the time, being a generator, I have seen myself being under the influence of frustration most of the time. But have learnt my lessons so that my frustration today is actually governed by my satisfaction that I derive. So manifesting generator, frustration and anger, peace and satisfaction. He has got all these. So he has got more emotional turmoil to deal with. A projector is either under the influence of bitterness or success, a reflector, disappointment or surprise. Because a reflector doesn't have anything that is defined. He doesn't have a character to start. Right? So, you might feel it here and there, but it won't be a roaring monster that dogs you day and night. Following your strategy makes your entire life experience easier than enjoyable, right? So instead of living under the influence of the negative side, I won't say negative side, but the imbalanced side, or experiencing the negative qualities in that, better look for the positive qualities so that you are moving smoothly. The emotional theme is thematic, meaning that you will either be experiencing the emotions of your theme yourself, or you may be experiencing them in other people around you who are responding to your behavior. So, for example, if you are a manifest, you have an emotional theme of anger. A manifester has a strategy of needing to inform people before they do things. A hard thing for a manifester. He can't, because he will be oriented towards his outcome. It can make a manifester feel a little angry that they must inform before they do things. But they will experience a lot less anger directed at them if they inform first. Right? So this is the strategy that is available for a manifester to be very comfortable. Okay. Now, breaking down the types. Now, let's dive into an overview of the types and their associated strategies. Remember that you can find your type and strategy listed on your human design chart. See, all of you, if you go through this book, he has given you a link. There are multiple places where you can get this chart free of time. You need to know where you were born, the timing at which you are born, etc. Right? Just like you chart, you cast the horoscope chart, the manifest. Focus area for a manifestor is he is an initiator. He is innovative. He is empowering. He is a powerhouse and he is provoking. That is the focus areas of a manifestor. So, his strategy becomes inform those who will be impacted by your actions. Any of these. That is the strategy you must take. Emotional theme is either anger or peace. Follow this strategy, you will experience peace. Stay away from it, right? What is the wealth thing? Start and leverage something for passive revenue. I don't know what it is. I have not gone into that side of the analysis. What are the challenges that a manifestor typically would face? Lack of sustainable energy. That means lack of sustainable energy. The other way to look at it is he will have too much of energy getting exhausted because he is always in a hurry to complete something. He is the initiator. He cannot sustain that energy. Right?
See, can I explain passive revenue? Passive revenue means that you don't hanker after it. When you're just quiet, revenue comes in, whatever revenue you look at it. It comes to you automatically.
That means you set up something and let that keep on flowing towards you.
Let it comes, yes.
Okay.
It happens to most of us.
जैसे SAP में पैसा डाल दो और SWP में निकालो.
कुछ भी, ऐसा कुछ भी. Or you may not even do it. Some source you are getting it.
Yeah.
Because you have a feeling of better. That right. Most of it happens to most of us meditators.
Correct. Right. So challenges: lack of sustainable energy, moves faster than others, accessing the right kind of support. Okay. So these are the challenges that he has. Prevalence: 8% of the people are manifestors. This is a guideline. But in the universe, the census is telling them that 8% of the people are in this category. Role: initiate action from ideas and from their own inner creative flow. It is an inner creative flow. Gets obstructed, they become angry. Right? So just see. Famous manifestors are Richard Burton, George W. Bush, Al Gore, Jack Nicholson, Vladimir Putin, Susan Sarandon. I don't know who that is. Other names are familiar, but not this. Okay. Manifestors are a minority. If you are a manifestor, you have an open sacral center and an active channel that connects them with will center. One of the centers is will. Now, we have read chakras. Where did this will center come from? Right? So, what we call Anahata has been broken down into two. One is the G center and the other one is the will center. Anahata has mutated into two. Okay? The emotional solar plexus or the root center to the throat center. So, these are the active channel that connects the will center, the emotional solar plexus, or the root center to the throat center. That means these are his dominating characteristics that you will find. Manifestors are the only type designed to initiate action. They are only designed to initiate the action, not sustain. Right? They get the ball rolling. They make things happen. All the other types have to wait before they can take action. Right? So this is the quality. So if I am creating, I want to launch a project, and the kickoff, I should have somebody who has got the qualities of a manifestor to make a successor. What if I put a generator there or somebody else? It will become more mental activity than actual action. Right? So, with the sense of knowing the right timing, it's unnecessary for manifestors to wait for outside confirmation before taking action. What does this mean? Those spiritual tablet students, you don't need to use wind power. That means wait for the right time in your strategy. Right? With the sense of knowing the right timing, they already have it inbuilt. They know the timing. They know what action to initiate. When, right? In spite of this ability to self-initiate, many manifestors have their own personal way of interacting with the flow of life and wait for signs in their outer world to tell them that the right time, the right timing is that the timing is right to act. That means they keep waiting, and this could itself result in a sort of an anger in that person. Okay, so he has just given you the combination of how manifestors are powerful creative beings with internal non-verbal creative flow that moves quickly when the timing is correct. Now, their communication is their throat, and the throat and the action items are not, okay, they are connected. Okay, take it. That means when a manifestor, no, sorry,
Correct.
this creative flow is so fast that there often isn't time to put words to it. So now if I make him a lecturer rather than a lab in charge, right? He will have his own challenges in fighting that. That could result in his anger. But where the projects are done, he is probably the right person to push the action. That means when a manifestor intuitively senses that the timing is right, they can just get up and get to it. A manifestor's energy field carries with it the power to initiate others into action. When people are in a manifestor's energy, they are often unconsciously poised, meaning they are ready to leap and get things going. They are basically troubleshooters. That's what I understand. Right? So, because of this frequency of energy, people pay attention to manifestors. People, energy, what? Because of this frequency of energy,
Correct. People are
pay attention to
manifestors.
Are always waiting to see what will happen next and will often interrupt the creative flow. Okay. So we need to be aware of that strength to utilize their skill set effectively. Same is the case with the person who is himself a manifestor. even he should know about it, right? Then let us see what is. This interruption can be very difficult and disruptive for a manifestor's sense of flow. Why? Why is he saying that? Can you think?
See, because he is an individual initiator.
Exactly.
And he was
And he makes things happen.
Yeah. And he doesn't have the energy to wait,
Mm.
right? So when you must stop that flow to find the words to explain to someone what you are doing, or that you don't need help, it's often hard to find your creative flow in the same way again. Right? When you don't understand how your energy works, it's easy to react with anger towards others, and other people can also become angry with you because they feel that you aren't involving them, or are sometimes being inconsiderate of them when they don't know what you are doing. See how the world sees them, how they see themselves, etc., is captured in this very well. Right? So let's go further. As a way of dealing with a manifestor's energy, others may want to help. This stems from their need to feel useful, but it's not the manifestor's obligation to fulfill that need. If you are a manifestor, you may find you are trying to keep others happy to avoid the anger or attempts to control you that you may have often experienced in your life. So as a manifestor, this instinct is very strong. You may have developed elaborate strategies to secretly do what you want without interference. Not being upfront and honest, as hard as it can be, uses up a lot of energy and can exhaust you whenever you feel like you have to deal with people. Now, I will tell you an interesting one. This quality of a manifestor may be visible in a manifesting generator also. Be very cautious of it. You may, right? So you have done all that you have put in. You don't have patience to wait. You want to get into the action mode, right? And you don't want to communicate. The truth is that you could be done with what you are doing in the time it can take to find the right words and try to explain to someone what you are doing. But you will lose your speed if you don't stop and inform. If you don't stop and inform the people around you what you are going to do next. So you will lose that speed. Right? You will lose your speed. If you are a manifestor, the trick is learning to honor your inner creative flow and letting the people who will be impacted by your action know what you are doing. Informing is not asking permission. You are not here to ask people for permission. Learning to honor your creative flow, informing others, and not letting others feel discomfort interferes with your choices. Discomfort interfere with your choices are often the greatest area of learning and growth for the manifestor. So how does he become a good operator? Right? That is being highlighted. What are the typical common traps and challenges that he would go through? Working nine, pardon, sir?
One thought that comes to me is that
Ah,
how is Putin is exemplified here. Putin is the one who attacked Ukraine.
correct.
But if he informs the Ukraine people that he is going to attack, the very purpose of attack is defeated.
So he has acted.
He has acted without
No, no.
informing them.
Exactly, he has acted, right?
Right. But
Now he is going to face the common traps and challenges by virtue of that action.
yeah, not only that, entire world, I mean, do not understand why he is attacking that. And so they do not support him.
Maybe.
That's
So-
what is the text
Correct.
of
So, see, that is what he is saying. Learning to honor your creative flow, informing others, and not letting other people's discomfort interfere with your choices are often the greatest area of learning. That is what he might have learned through his action. Your question is valid.
Yeah, I don't know what he learned or not, but it's still continuing. The same way Israel
but
attacking
then,
Gaza.
sir, he would have probably taken the first step. After that, Ukraine would have taken a couple of steps and he may be responding to them.
It's going on anyway. It's going on.
Correct. So,
yeah.
right.
What,
So he is most effective when he is in that action mode. Okay. So let's continue.
Okay.
So what are the common traps and challenges that a manifester might undergo? Working 9 to 5 is difficult and unnatural for manifestors because they don't have sufficient sustainable energy. Manifestors don't usually make good team players and tend to want to do everything themselves, right? Delegating can be hard for them because they feel they will be able to complete a task faster. Finding the words for their creative flow slows them down. So this is one quality that is coming out loud and clear. So if you know of someone who is a manifester, you as his manipulator, supervisor, whatever word you may use, right, may probably identify these qualities and make the whole thing smooth. If he is in the leadership role, knowing those qualities and keeping pockets of information circulated is a good role to play. So these actually identify the type of qualities that are predominant. What are the lessons? So basically the objective of us reading it is knowing what quality. Now it doesn't mean that this is going to be a manifester is always going to be consistently only a manifester. He may also, based on circumstances, become other roles based on the other influences that are coming on him, the energies that are being influenced and superimposed on. What will a manifestor do when he is in the growing stage? Let's say a kid is born under the combination of a manifestor. Can he do anything on his own? He will have his own compulsions. During those stages, he will get the opportunity to learn. Okay. Manifestors have a unique energy that makes it easier for them to get things started. Sometimes, when you are a manifestor, it's easy to lose your patience with other people who are simply not wired the way you are. It can also be difficult, once you get something started, to follow through with the energy to bring it to completion or to manage your creation on a day-to-day basis in the well. Remember, you are an initiator, not necessarily a doer. Okay? The other quality. Manifestors do not have sustainable life and force energy, which is why most are not particularly good at seeing a project or fulfilling an idea to its end. So that means they have strong ability to be Arambashu. Right? Manifestors are not designed to finish the sustained implementation of ideas and projects. They follow through and maintenance tasks are not their type. Theirs is a creative and initiating energy. They may originate opportunities and move on to create the next. So he could be a good sales guy. He could be a good negotiator. Those are all the positive things that he may be able. But then maybe as a negotiator, he has a lesson to learn in terms of keeping all the people informed, because a negotiator needs to know the stakeholders and keep them informed. Right? So you will start looking at it from that perspective. Manifestors give the rest of us reasons to respond, like the cue ball on a pool table, bumping into the other balls and causing them to move. That means they have the ability to touch the points so that people are triggered to move, motivated to move. Okay. Now what is he talking about? The strategy that a manifestor should adopt. So now, as a manifestor, from the qualities and what are their challenges and all, we are more or less in sync.
Yeah.
Like those who are manifestors by their chart, I think Mishraji is a manifestor because he was taking vigorous notes when we were reading out. क्या मिश्रा जी आप मैनिफेस्टर हो क्या?
मुझे लगता है सर वो जो हम मैक्सिमम पीपल हम लोग वर्ल्ड में, मुझे लगता है वो मैनिफेस्ट जनरेटर हैं.
नहीं है, वो जनरेटर से.
मैनिफेस्टिंग जनरेटर है ना तीसरा वाला.
हाँ, वो
जिसके अंदर एंगर भी है,
20% के
फ्रस्ट्रेशन भी
करीब
है.
No, वो 20% के करीब है और जनरेटर्स आर द मोस्ट, आई थिंक 63%.
अच्छा,
ठीक है, देखते हैं. तो strategy, if you are a manifestor, it's correct for you to start things but not necessarily implement the details or finish the project. You must learn to delegate and move on when it feels correct to do so. If you are feeling stuck or shut down, start initiating more in your life, right? If you are feeling big, start taking the liberty of acting. It's okay to begin with small tasks and projects to rebuild that initiating muscle. After all, it may have been suppressed for most of or all of your life. You will feel much better when you are behaving the way you are designed to behave, and you will have more energy, right? So it's basically to identify if you are feeling stuck, identify your core strengths, understand them, and start acting accordingly. So how do you identify? This becomes a sort of a pattern through which we can guide ourselves from a difficult position to an easy position. Remember to inform people who may be impacted by your actions before you act. It takes courage to do this. It will take time for it to become a habit, but will be absolutely worth it. your relationships, and even your health and wellness will improve because of it. It will also minimize the amount of anger and resistance that you experience from others. Okay? That means we can be under the influence of what we are creating or what others are creating, and we are in that situation. Keep in mind that informing is not asking for permission. So don't be afraid of others saying no or trying to stop you. You can still do as intended, but it will be wise to take others' views into consideration if you can. There is nothing wrong with a second opinion. So you will start learning that. Recognize the impact you have on people around you. You have a strong and powerful aura. Others will usually feel your presence when you enter a room. Okay. Some manifestors are surprised to learn about this themselves, but the people around them know it to be true. That means you are projecting something that you are not aware of. Okay. Trust what feels right, not just what your brain-based analysis tells you. Manage your energy and take breaks when needed. It's much easier to avoid burnout than to recover from it. Manifestors can initiate action and opportunity without waiting. Manifestors are energetic beings that possess tremendous initiating power, but they must use their power carefully or risk angering others. Why are they going to anger others? Pardon?
It slows down.
Yeah, it slows down. They have not been told. Otherwise, they will say, had he just told me, I would have probably helped him reach his goal. Right? Those kind of conversations come. The manifestors, yeah. Yeah, someone was saying something?
No, I just coughed. Sorry.
Oh, okay. Right. Their purpose, that is the manifestor's purpose in life, is to create action for a reaction. If a manifestor decides to start a business, for example, all they have to do is pick up the right timing and then do it. All the other types should wait before they take action. So manifestors have that gift, right? Although most of us think we would love to be manifestors, being a manifestor can have its own challenges. Many manifestors have struggled to learn to use their power appropriately and may be conditioned to hide their power or suppress it entirely. What happens when you suppress?
You cease to be a manifestor, actually.
Health.
No, one you cease to be a manifestor, but how will it reflect in your overall life? You will always
Discomfort,
be
yeah.
suffering.
Yeah.
Anger. And then from there will emanate all the diabetes, blood pressures and all that.
Exactly.
Right? So knowing who am I is the primary thing. What am I? How am I? Right? All those answers can be found when you create your design. It helps you self-analyze what you are made of. That becomes one of the key objectives of using this. Manifestors must know how to channel their energy properly, or they will face tremendous resistance in life. Properly channeled manifestor energy often gives the other types ideas for projects for responding. Okay, it gives them an opportunity. So he needs to be a opportunity creator, originator, right? Without informing, you will meet resistance every step of the way. That's why many manifestors, beginning in their childhood, resign after being punished repeatedly by parents, teachers, and others who don't understand their power. So, in a school, when you are a teacher, this becomes a very powerful tool, right? In helping the child, parents, this becomes a powerful tool for people, for parents to understand their children, their qualities, right? When manifestors give up their manifesting power, they surrender to going through life just getting by. They may feel ignored or like they are being run over by a truck. Right? They give up. Shortly. The last thing they want to do is to inform others. Everybody else is in their way all the time. So the idea of making things easier for others seems unacceptable. Yet it's the only way out of the circle of control and resistance. Any comments on this section?
No, it's fine. From my side.
So, the way I look at it, sir, I think parents have to learn how to deal with these people.
No, parents have to learn even to identify the type that of a
Right.
child that they have.
No,
Yeah.
not only
And
parents, all co-workers,
Everything. This
co-workers
is
and
applicable at every stage
at
in life.
every stage. Yes.
and it is so difficult.
It's not difficult. Today, see, we didn't have this kind of knowledge when our parents were bringing us up.
Very true. But whatever it is, people, because we are often judged by the standards of the society. You should either be a doctor or an engineer and nothing else in between.
All the others are useless. But actually speaking, it is the chartered accountants who are walking away to their bank and glory, both.
No, but see, that was the idea. So you have to stand in the topmost ranks to get the admission into this. So
Yeah.
those are ideas that, but people might be creative in their own way, that the fellow wants to invent something, or he may be more a physicist,
And
but
whoever,
parents never thought of it.
and look at it, whoever understood themselves, they became Bill Gates of the world, right? They became Rockefellers.
But how many are there, sir? So many probably failures are there. One or two are the successful people who could break the, this chain and come out. But there
Exactly.
are hundreds of the
Very
people who
true.
have been discouraged.
So let us look at the
Positive side.
emotional theme. Oh, we have a lot of them. The emotional theme of the manifestor is anger.
Chandragaru, can I add one
Yeah.
thought? It just
Yes,
came
yes,
up.
yes.
So I was thinking that any project management, any startup or any company, when they hire, if that's possible, we can add one button to the LinkedIn to what time they're born, or this in human design chart would be much better.
In fact, if you go to a counselor, he will start there if he has to rectify you or help you identify what your problem is.
Yep.
Right. So the emotional
Only thing I believe in is,
yeah,
if you should be, what this does, you should be very sensitive in recognizing if you're working with a manifestor, wherever you are.
yes.
You should develop the sensitivity, that's so-called empathy, right? to
True.
understand the person. Then only you can support and also be successful along with the manifestor.
Exactly. And you are going to have such people in your life day to day, day in and day out, you are going to encounter.
Yes.
Right. So, looking by the qualities, you should be able to place it and deal with it. Right? Yeah. The emotional
This is
of the manifestor is anger. Anger often happens when people inadvertently slow you down, try to help you, or tell you that you can't do something. Not having skills to manage your anger properly can sometimes be destructive. Right? So, we need to understand the core. Manifestors often struggle with knowing when enough is enough. They don't know. If you are a manifestor, it's important to gauge what you are doing and make sure you are not frying everyone else's energy, causing them to burn out. If you are, that doesn't mean that you should stop what you are doing, but be aware that sometimes this may trigger anger in others. You need to be aware of that quality which is there in you and then increase your tolerance. I don't have this quality. I expect others to perform the way I perform. On an energetic level, you make quite the impression on others, but your aura doesn't communicate as much as the auras of other types. Because of this, others are not sure how to accept, which is why communication is important. Inform those in your circle of influence as this is how to release tension. So instead of you getting tensed, this is how you should be built. Right? So by bringing others into the conversation, they may help you and put their energy into whatever it is that you have initiated. At that point, you will find what you have been seeking, completion of your creative inspiration. Okay, so completion of your creative inspiration is what you are seeking, but you are shutting down others because of your approach. Relationships. If you love a manifestor, see that you don't take their anger personally. Understand that it's part of their process. That is how they are, right? Accept that they may not need you in the way you need them, and that it's nothing against you. They are designed to act on their own, but they can engage and inspire people when in tune with those around them, particularly when keeping them informed of their dreams and plans. I need to check up if someone I keep meeting regularly, one of my daughters, they are a manifestor because I observe this problem. Right. Don't interrupt a manifestor when they are in their groove of figuring things out and getting things done. They are not ignoring you. They are just completely engaged in their own internal process. Keep them informed about your actions and make it easy for them to inform you without fear of recrimination or rejection. Respect their privacy. Don't ask or pry They may not always be able to articulate what's going on in their mind. Trust them in their role of initiating action and giving others things to which they may respond. That's what they are here to do. Okay? So they expect others to respond. Okay. Don't grudge or criticize when they start and stop projects. Trying is often the only way manifester can know if something is correct for them. Allow them their own consequences. They usually don't want to be helped unless they ask for it. What's this figure? 24. Okay, basically the bullet points.
Mhm.
Shall we continue or stop?
I would prefer to stop because I like to go into meditation for at least the next 2 hours.
Yeah, I think we
We'll
should
stop.
stop.
We'll
Yeah.
stop. And anyone who wants to guide the meditation, we can do it here.
No, I'm drawing the Pyramid Valley. There's a-
Oh, okay.
going on. Okay, thank you.
Okay. Okay then. Bye all.
Thanks a lot.
Okay, sir.
Bye.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you, sir. Thank you, everyone.
Thank you.
Thank you. Have a wonderful night. Have a wonderful day.
कॉल कर रहे हैं
Thank you, sir.